Yeah, I wanted to show you something. Take a look at 72.
All right.
You'll know what I want. You'll know what I'm talking about as soon as I start playing.
You think I'm licked? You all think I'm licked? Well, I'm not.
Hey, that was Uncle Billy, wasn't it?
And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause. Even if this room gets filled with lies like these.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah,
obviously.
And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
Here he is. All right, so
Yeah.
that's good enough. So it's Jimmy Stewart
Okay.
on the Senate floor. Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
I figured that's what it was. I'd never seen it, though.
Yeah, so he's doing a filibuster.
Is that what he's doing?
He's filibustering.
Why is he allowed to filibuster?
I don't know. I forgot.
Isn't he like a citizen or something?
I forgot the movie.
I don't know.
I don't know. There must have been
All
some
right.
loophole. I forgot.
Yeah.
But he's filibustering on this on the. Was that this? That didn't look like the Senate floor.
Yeah,
did
it did.
It did. Okay.
I mean, enough so.
Yeah. So yeah, he's filibustering on the Senate floor.
Filibuster.
Filibuster.
Yeah.
Not filibuster.
Yeah.
Filet, like filet.
It actually comes from,
It's a French word.
no, it sounds French. I think it might be Dutch or German, but it comes from, it actually means freebooter.
Oh.
Freebooter, which is like a pirate, a marauder, freebooter. Because you're going against the process. You're
You might be going way back in the etymology. I think it comes from a French word. but-
I mean, I don't think so. I
Well,
think
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
All right, so
It could be, yeah.
So filibuster, he is holding the floor.
Yeah.
They're debating a bill or whatever it was. I think that it was something silly for the movie, like not silly, but it was for the movie. He wanted to build a boys' camp or something on some grounds that was being dedicated to building a dam.
Okay.
And he thought it was a grave injustice. He wanted to build this boys' camp or something. I think that's what it was. Maybe
All right.
I saw it a long time ago. So he thought it was a grave injustice because there was a lot of graft and corruption involved. So he went to Washington,
Okay.
okay, to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's okay. Basically, the whole idea of a filibuster. This is real. The filibuster is real. So what they do is they maintain the floor because the rule in the Senate is that you're allowed to hold the floor and you're allowed to speak whatever you want. You could read poetry. You could do whatever you want.
Right.
Right, for as long as you want, and you don't give up the floor in order to continue the debate, which will either pass or not pass a bill that you want or don't want to pass. Right.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're opposing the bill
Yes.
to get passed.
Yeah.
So in this case, he's opposing the bill, and the whole idea is that it forces the Republicans and the Democrats to debate further and to renegotiate and to give concessions in order to get the bill passed.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, yeah. That's the way it was. And then I guess so that it throws it goes from a majority to a supermajority.
Well, yeah, because there has to be a cloture vote.
Right.
To end the filibuster.
Right.
Which now at this point, it's 60 votes.
It's 60 votes.
Whereas just passing a bill is a simple majority.
51.
You need 51.
Right.
So you need at least 60 votes to end the filibuster.
Right.
At which point you can pass the bill through simple.
Right. So in the old way, you would have to actually hold the floor in order for that filibuster to actually oh my God, he's filibustering.
Yeah, you have to nonstop talk.
You have to nonstop talk
Right,
and
right,
keep going.
right.
And that's what this whole movie is about. It's very dramatic, and he's doing all that.
I can tell.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know what he's doing, and
Sure.
his family's behind him and all this stuff. Okay. So, but they reformed that. They passed laws which made it different. It's no longer, you don't have to actually be on the floor in order to hold up the proceedings. You can actually just say, okay, this is a filibuster. We go from majority, 51%, simple majority, to supermajority, 60.
Yeah.
Not 51%. Well, 51%.
It is 51%.
It is 51.
Yeah.
51 votes to 60
Yeah,
votes.
yeah, right.
60%.
It's supposed to be this thing where it's like you get up and you obstruct and you're just going to debate and talk. Not even debate, just talk on and on, preventing a bill from passing. And people used to get together and actually take turns filibustering and make it take so long that it expired and the bill didn't pass. And and it was a trying maneuver, trying for the person doing it. It was
Right.
trying because they had to stand up and talk.
Didn't only have to be one person?
Well, one person at a time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But people, I think, used to take turns, something like that. But yeah, then in the 70s, they were like, well, this is dumb. So we're not gonna get rid of the filibuster, but we're gonna make a 2-track system, they called it, where bills that can be filibustered, we're only gonna spend half the day on that, and then the other half of the day we're gonna do the other stuff, and you can't filibuster for those types of things.
Right.
So at that point, you just saying you're gonna filibuster is enough for us to assume you're gonna keep it blocked for as long as you want. So we just need the 60 votes.
So that's the way it is now. So you just go, okay, well, no more simple majority. We want a super majority.
Yeah, it's just a fake thing at this point.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
fake. There's no real filibustering anymore.
Right.
Yeah. There's no Mr. Smith.
I think we should go back to the Mr. Smith style.
Yeah. Some Republicans love the filibuster because they think that it's a great check on power for Democrats when they're in power.
When they're in power, yeah.
And Democrats probably feel similarly, but at the same time, the thing is, whoever's in power can actually remove it if they want.
Yeah.
They could remove it. So like Republicans are in power now. If they had a simple majority, they could say, well, we're going to get rid of the filibuster.
Right.
The problem is Republicans, so many Republicans like it because they think it's a check on power that they're not going to do it, even though Democrats would probably be willing to do it when they're in power. Mm-hmm. So you're in a situation where it's like, okay, we could get rid of it and get as much done as possible to show the country that we mean business and we're accomplishing things and make life better for people who voted for us. Or we could keep it out of principle. And then when the Democrats get rid of it, when they take power, because we did nothing for 2 years or 4 years, and they get rid of it, we can wag a finger at them and say, look, we're better than them. It won't matter by then.
So the current legislation they're trying to get passed now, right?
Yeah.
I tend to try to boil it down to simplicity because I'm not a real political wonk, and trying to get into all the details of this. But it seems to me that the Democrats basically, this is all about Obamacare.
I guess.
Yeah, basically, generally speaking, the Democrats they want to bankrupt the system is what they want to do. They want to bankrupt healthcare in this country.
Okay.
And if they laden the whole system down, which is what they're trying to do, there's not going to be enough money to pay for it, and it's going to fail. It's going to go bankrupt, and the government's going to have to come in and take it over, and then we have socialized medicine.
Okay.
That's basically what it comes down to.
Right.
Ultimately, I think the object is they want to pay for everything. Everything comes under the auspices of the government.
Yeah.
And basically it's free healthcare for everybody, socialized medicine.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people get paid, middlemen, and they take money, and people get very rich off this kind of thing.
That's almost like everything now.
Anything government related.
Anything government related.
Yeah, it's always going to be that way.
I know that, we always made fun of, not Russia, because they're totally gone, but we made fun of, let's say, the UK or even Canada, but let's say the UK. We used to say, oh, you don't want socialized medicine because they have socialized medicine, and you have to wait 4 months to see a doctor. And we went, oh my God, that would be terrible.
Right.
You have to wait a year to get surgery. Oh my God, you could die in the
meantime.
Even
a scan to see if you need something.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm just saying we laughed at it, but we made fun of it because oh my God, we definitely don't want that kind of system.
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't have socialized medicine per se. Kind of in Massachusetts, we kind of do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have to wait that long.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. No, I wanted to see a specialist like a couple of years ago. I had to wait almost a year to see the guy.
Wow.
And I just waited 4 months to see a specialist for something else. Just recently. You never had to wait that long before. So the more leans in that direction, the worse it gets. And now what we used to make fun of, it's like it's here.
Yeah, and the thing is, people actually point to our healthcare system as a failure of capitalism, and they say this is why we need socialized medicine. But it is 100% already a totally overregulated socialized system.
Right.
Like that is what we have. We don't have a capitalist healthcare system. We have corporations making tons of money because they've been sanctioned by the government to do certain things. But it's so overregulated, it basically already is socialized. And it's been that way for decades, actually. So
see what happens.
We'll see. Speaking of the Senate, Casey Means, we talked about her before.
Yeah, right.
She's the she's the Surgeon General pick.
Right.
And it's weird because she hasn't been in the news. It's like, where are her hearings? Why haven't they happened yet? She was picked, what, like 7 months ago, 8 months ago?
Yeah, we brought her up for a for one reason, one of our past podcasts.
Yeah, and that was a while ago.
Oh, that was like 6 months ago.
At least, yeah. So she was scheduled to have her hearing, her Senate hearing, and it had to be postponed because she went into labor.
Oh, wow.
Because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So I guess she got pregnant. I assume after she was, or before she was picked. I don't know. And she went to labor, so they postponed her hearing. She wasn't even going to be there in person in the first place. She was going to be on Zoom. But so now she's a
What's
mother.
her title?
What do you now or what it's going to be?
What it's going to be.
Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Like I said. And she's a doctor. I don't think she's currently board certified or something because she let that lapse because she got disenchanted with the medical system like we were just talking about.
Wait a minute. You're going to tell me that the future Surgeon General is not covered?
No. I honestly, I don't know at this point. Maybe you mean like her practice. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean her maternity leave.
I'm sure she has health insurance. But anyway, but she's into a lot of weird religious spiritual things.
She is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what concerns me because part of her health focus is it's holistic.
Right.
And I think there's some really great things there like exercise and physical therapy and diet is a big one and moving away from just pharmacology to treat everything. And keeping people healthy as opposed to basically triaging sick people, which is what our healthcare systems become. But like it seems like 50% in her own personal life of her own health journey is this like really kooky new age spiritual stuff.
Right.
And somebody else is finally bringing attention to that. We called this out like 6 months ago or whatever. And finally, this other people are picking up on it. Trump's bizarre pick for Surgeon General. This is from National Review.
Okay.
And this just came out like a week ago. And not only is she into some weird things, but she's actually in her book encouraging psychedelic drugs.
Oh, right.
So, you know, magic mushrooms, things like that, psilocybin. She says in the book that she wrote with her brother, Callie Means, they wrote, strong scientific evidence suggests that psychedelic therapy can be one of the most meaningful experiences of life for some people, as they have been for me, referring to her use of psychedelics or plant medicine. Great. So she took magic mushrooms in 2021 after she was inspired by, quote, an internal voice that whispered it's time to prepare.
Oh, great. Oh, come on.
So that's who is talking to her. So
All
she's
right.
got an internal voice speaking English to her.
Yeah.
We got a Course in Miracles
we have a medium
on our hands.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I felt myself as part of an infinite and unbroken series of cosmic nesting dolls of millions of mothers and babies before me from the beginning of life.
Yeah.
So that's her feeling connected to everything. It's the
Yeah.
one. There's the oneness. There's the we're all part of God.
Right.
It always comes in. Anytime people take these drugs or they do these Buddhist retreats or whatever it is, they all come away thinking they're part of God.
Right.
And we're all part of it together. She says psilocybin can be a doorway to a different reality that is that is free from the limiting beliefs of my ego, feelings, and personal history. All right. So, and now that's kooky, and you're not part of God. You're a creation of God.
Yeah.
If you're part of God, God's not a creator.
You are.
Yeah, you are.
But that's what they teach. If you can think it, you can make it happen.
Yeah. So here's the weird thing: is you talk a lot about ego and stuff like that. So when these people who are seem to come to the opposite conclusion as you, which is that we are all part of God. That's what they think. When they talk about being free from ego or stuff like that, what are they saying? What do they mean by that? And how is it different from what you say? Because it can't possibly be the same thing. Because if it was the same experience, then they would reach the opposite conclusion, which is that we are not God and we're subjects of God and we must align with His will in order to
because
live.
You say it's the conclusion, but it's not. It's a foregone conclusion. So that's the cart before the horse.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't do all of these things, and then it is revealed to them that this is a great truth. Okay, they decide what that truth is going to be, and then And then they decide to basically infiltrate other people's minds with that ahead of time.
The truth being what? In their, what they think it is.
What they
do you
say
mean?
it
What
is.
do you mean, though?
Well, in other words, let's say, I guess you're talking about like New Age type stuff. And,
Yeah.
non-duality and all of that.
Right. I'm talking about how they use similar language.
They
like,
use similar language.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you have to separate from your ego.
Right.
And that sounds like what you say.
It does.
But
Sometimes.
then they
To a
say,
point.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to narrow down, is that they say, and when you do, you realize we're all connected and part of God.
Right.
Part of the God consciousness.
Right.
Part of this God whatever they call it. So what I'm asking you is, when you say separate from ego and they say separate from ego, what is the difference between what they are really doing and what you're really doing? Because the language is
same.
sometimes the same.
Sometimes the same. Yeah. Well, a number of years ago, I'm thinking of one particular person who called me up one day and said, everything that you say, and I read your book and blah, 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 blah. And, Eckhart Tolle is saying the same thing. He says the same thing as you. And at that time I said, I don't know who she is. I know that's a meme, but this was before the meme. I thought that was a woman's name. I had no idea who that was. I had no idea. And so this woman was wondering if I got my principles from that. And I said, no, I never even heard of this person.
Right.
Now I've heard of him,
Yeah.
But no. You can take the truth. You can take actual truths and use it for something sinister. So you can say that it's an old ploy. You say the same thing over and over again. That's actually truth, and people recognize it as true.
Yeah.
And then they pull the tablecloth out from under, or pull the rug out from under you, so to speak, and they inject you with a lie.
But so what are they doing when they say they're separating from ego? Because if they were really separating from this sort of lower self that wants to judge and wants to play God,
right,
they would come to the opposite conclusion.
No, but they don't come to because it's an injection of deceit that happens.
So what are they doing when they're saying I'm separating from my ego? What are they actually doing, if not?
They're not doing that at all. Okay. They're just saying the right words.
All right.
What they're doing is, see, if you can convince somebody to, let's say, open your psyche, you become vulnerable.
Yeah.
And what they do is they say all the right words. Let's say talk about meditation.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So they put you into a meditative state, but it's a meditative state of objectivity. They say words like, just watch your thoughts and step and watch your ego and do all that. They say all these words that sound pretty good, and they're pretty sound for the most part.
Yeah.
But what they do is they make you they separate you, and they always inject other things too. Little tricks, little devices into it, like breathing tricks.
Yeah.
Getting your breathing. And what happens is it's sort of an excitement. You get intoxicated by that.
Okay.
Okay. And it sort of excites you and puts you in a state where you are primed for hypnosis. So at that point,
Right.
you become very vulnerable and very suggestible. And that's when they insert the ideas in. You are one with God. You are like God. You are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, to that point, all these, in this case, well, you were talking about meditations, but any sort of ritualistic practices like this, they always have some sort of aspect which makes you feel very calm.
Oh yeah,
very
it's
at ease.
intoxicating.
Almost able to fall asleep sometimes.
It is a literal inebriation.
Sometimes it's like an ASMR voice. Other
Right.
times it's very gentle music.
Yep.
Sometimes it's rhythmic.
Music. Yep.
Or like the bells and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's always something that is supposed to almost make you melt wherever you are.
It does. You melt.
You
melt.
So I guess that's what you're saying about it becoming hypnotic versus
Yeah.
like,
So you mentioned
the
music.
opposite of
Music is like that. Music can hypnotize people or it can communicate. So you could say to somebody, you could say, "You are so beautiful. Oh, I am so beautiful. Oh," or "They are
Right.
so beautiful," and you feel so sad. Or you can say, when you're vulnerable that way to someone's words,
yeah.
you could say, you don't say that. You say, "Woke up, fell out of bed." Then you're telling a story.
Yeah, but
Now you're,
sure, but that's not going to help you, connect with God.
No, it doesn't help you connect
Right.
with God. No, it helps you connect with the songwriter who's telling you a story.
Yeah.
But you can also be using it for nefarious purposes and injecting people with philosophical. It's typically in the realm that you're speaking of. It's typically Eastern philosophy. It's non-duality. It's you can be God, which is the old sin from the garden, right? You can be as God.
Yeah.
Right. It's that idea that comes across that gets infiltrated into you, and it makes you feel elated.
Yeah. It's just weird to me that they use very similar language that sounds good and even sounds like it might have you reach the opposite conclusion, which is you're not God and you're not part of God.
So the difference between that sort of thing and when I teach we're talking about meditation, when I teach meditation is when you bring someone to that point, they become very suggestible. Okay. They take advantage of that, and then they insert their suggestions into them. When you meditate properly, you open up your psyche, you don't become suggestible. The will of God just enters you without words.
Well, and I was going through the list again of all the things Casey Means has done to try and, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not for her becoming a Surgeon General anymore.
Because if she's a Surgeon General, I mean, she's the nation's doctor, right? And I think that half of the stuff she says is great when it comes to the health and diet stuff.
Right.
I think the mental health stuff is really in the wrong direction.
Right.
And I think that it's not good for somebody to be advising the nation, writing guidelines, instructing people on how to live.
No, what's going to happen
if she lives this way. I think it's great for like a podcast guest or a podcast. I mean, I love Joe Rogan. He's taken, psilocybin and all that stuff. It's entertaining. It's great. And there's some really good truths along with like I said, the health stuff, you should eat more meat and stuff like that. But in like a position of authority for somebody to be doing all that, I don't think that's good.
No, it's not.
But anyway, I was looking at the list, and one of the things that she listed, she went through like a whole bunch of things when she was trying to like find herself or whatever.
Wait, can I stop you for a second? I want to ask you if is on that list something that would really concern me.
Okay.
Is on that list the promotion of mindfulness?
You mean the word mindfulness?
Yeah. Because it seems to me that that's what we're going to get out of her. We're going to get a huge push for this mindfulness movement in schools and
the number one thing is I set up a small meditation shrine in my house and prayed to photos of my ancestors. So I think we've gone past the word mindfulness here as far as indicators is something bad is up.
Yeah.
But one of the things she said is I pursued visualization techniques like the Silva Method that helped me see my visions for the future. And I was like, what's the Silva Method? Have you heard of that?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, so I looked into it. I had never heard of it before.
Okay.
This guy, some sort of radio technician in the 50s or 60s, he was playing around with his equipment, I guess, and he got interested in psychology, and he decided he wanted to experiment with frequencies, radio frequencies, and the brain, the mind, and making people do well and be well, and trying to improve mental health through frequencies. And that's what he started doing. He actually used it on his family. That's how he first developed this on his children, and determined that they did better and became better people, I guess. And there are certain frequencies you're supposed to like tune into. And he created a meditation that you can do. And interestingly enough, they seem to sit in like a lotus position. I don't know why, how it's even, but they put their fingers like this, they do this thing. And
that's just posturing to make it sound spiritual.
Yeah. And I put it on to see what it sounded like.
Oh, wait, is it some spacey?
Well, I'll tell you. So there's a recording, and I put it on, and it's his voice. The first thing was totally weird because he says he's like, visualize the number 3 times in your mind. I was like, okay. He's like, now visualize the number 2 3 times. Now the number 1 3 times. I'm like, oh, this is very hypnotic. This is just classic hypnosis.
Yeah. It's called induction.
And then he's like, all right, next. And I forget what he says after that, but all of a sudden it starts going like, doo, 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 in my ear. I'm like, whoa. And I'm not doing it. I'm just listening to it. But I'm like, this is just hypnosis.
I hear that coming out of cars when I drive through downtown Hyannis.
Yeah. So this is just hypnosis. And
yes, it is.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is not anything like any sort of, authentic prayer
Right.
and meditation that's actually going to,
Yeah.
help you reconnect with your creator. This
No.
is just putting you under a spell.
What it is okay, when you can play tunes, you could, like we were talking about music, it's the same exact thing.
Right.
Frequencies and tones, because music is a collection of frequencies and tones, right?
Yeah.
And they just put some order to it. But you can make sounds that will actually stimulate. They've done this they've hooked people's brains up to, analyzers that actually analyze the
Sure.
and you can actually stimulate the brain with sounds, with music, and stimulate neurotransmitter activity and affect people's moods.
Yeah.
So it is a drug. You've heard the expression music is a drug. Well, literally it is. It's doing the same thing that a chemical would do.
Mm-hmm.
It's stimulating emotions and mood and changing that. So you can have
Right.
music, and you have certain sounds that connote beauty and tranquility and quiet, and then you have certain sounds that are cacophonous and disorder, and you can actually control people's emotions that way.
Right.
That's what this does. They're not going to give you cacophonous sounds. They're going to give you beautiful sounds that stimulate.
But it's not music. It's not music.
It doesn't have to be music.
It's just like
the music.
It's just like something that sort of like
No.
rattles your brain a
The
bit.
frequencies exist before the music. Music
Yeah,
is just a
right.
manipulation of the frequencies.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's how a good song brings you in and out of moods while you're listening to it.
Yeah.
And the person hopefully is communicating and telling you nice stuff, decent stuff, communicating ideas perhaps.
Yeah.
Or they could be using it to control you, which is often the case.
Okay.
Yeah. So music can be quite harmful
Yeah. Well, aside from
if it's abused.
aside from non-contemplative meditation, I have never heard a meditation recording that doesn't do some sort of hypnotic element. This one was so blatant that it was like, it actually made me like laugh out loud.
Yeah,
It's like this one's just like hammering my skull with these noises
Yeah.
that if I were allowing myself to be susceptible to it would just totally put me under a trance.
Right.
100%.
Okay, well, if it's got something that's upsetting you at first, what it's doing is it's upsetting you in order to make you feel better. So it's not going to be constantly head hammering.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to get some relief, and you're going to go.
It's going to get good.
Oh,
right.
It's going to get
Which is a classic hypnosis trick, right?
Yeah, of
What do they
course.
call that? There's a name for that literal thing you do where you upset somebody.
Narcissists do that.
Right, but I'm trying to talk about hypnosis
Yeah,
and
okay.
hypnotists, and they get you off kilter for a second.
Right.
Usually it's a physical thing, but
Right.
I'm sure it could be sound like this. But they like a handshake. It's a thing, a hand pull. When they shake your hand, they pull your hand for a minute. Oh, we know somebody who does that. I think
Who famous does
the
that?
president of the United States does it. You pull your hand for a second,
Right.
and upset you, and then that knocks you.
Yeah.
You're emotionally off balance,
Right.
and then you're more susceptible to hypnosis.
Right. Well,
after
it's an
that.
actual hypnotic induction process where they do that with the hand.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Yes.
it more as a generalized process where people do. That's why I mentioned narcissists, because
Yeah.
narcissists have a way of doing that, not literally with a hand, but with words.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I have one of my very good friends, and you know who it is. And I met a friend of his who I was told I'd like because I don't know, similar political beliefs or something. I don't know. And which doesn't mean I'm going to like somebody at all. And I meet him, and the first thing he does is insult me. Literally, just met him for the first time. This
Yeah.
guy. And I was like, whoa, that was weird. And immediately I knew exactly what he was trying to do. He's trying to upset me. He's trying to show some kind of dominance
Right.
that he's then going to exploit later, now that he's made me upset. And because now that I'm upset and I'm mad at him, now I want his approval, and he's going to be able to control me with that.
Right.
And honestly, you say narcissist, true. Also psychopathic behavior. That's how psychopaths operate, and sociopaths too. And I don't know if he's any one of those exactly, certainly a narcissist. And then it didn't bother me. So he tried it again later. He tried again like a couple hours later. I think the first thing he said, he was like, oh, your body's a little disproportionate. And I'm not overweight. I'm not anything. I look like a normal guy. Totally made up insult. And I'm like, what? Like, that's a crazy first thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
And then later he said something similar. He tried to like get it in again, but it didn't bother me at all. And by the end, of the night, he had decided he didn't like me. There's something very wrong with me.
You weren't giving in to him.
Yeah, and I wasn't insulting him back. I wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything like that. I was just like, that's a crazy thing to say to
Something
somebody.
similar happened to me when I was on Wall Street. I was transferring from. I started off with this firm that I didn't like, so I was transferring to another firm, to that famous firm,
Okay.
the one that I talk about a lot. I'm not going to talk about it now.
Okay.
But when I
The
transferred,
one they made a movie about.
the one we made a movie,
Yeah,
we made a movie about, and that was my first exposure to that, and I was taken in there. And my first day, me and a bunch of other brokers, they took me out to lunch.
Right.
And I'm sitting there in the back of this Mercedes, sitting as a passenger. Some people on each side of me. The whole car is full, and we're going. And one of the guys turns around and goes, "So, what did they teach you over there at the other firm? How to wear a brown suit?"
Yeah.
I was wearing this gorgeous, expensive brown pinstripe double-breasted suit. It was like one of my best suits. I was wearing my first day. It was like totally trying to upset me, and then they all like, they all started laughing. That was my last day I wore a brown suit. But that's part of it. That's sociopathic behavior. It's to get you to become one of them.
Yeah, and you know what? There is a degree to which it happens where it's just testing you.
Right.
There's like a test that's going to go on when you meet somebody, or that because they do want to
in the
leg
case
up
of
on
that guy, obviously he was doing that.
Right, of course. But it gets to a point where it's like directed at you, and it's not just to see if you can be a part of our group or to see how you're going to stand up. It's actually to like control you, to dominate you, like a person over another person.
Is he that smart, this guy?
No. They don't know. They might not even know that they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that's when it gets psychopathic. That's when it becomes like, yeah, this person actually deliberately exploits other people, even if they don't quite know how they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's how they've learned to live.
Well, I will tell you, this firm that I was with, we were all psychopaths.
You're not a psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath.
You're the antidote to psychopathy.
Now I am.
Because you are extremely disagreeable.
Oh, thank you.
Which I am too. I wonder who I get it from.
Yeah.
And that's why this guy couldn't control me. When you're disagreeable, you push back on things like that. It doesn't affect you. You actually like the argument. You actually like the confrontation. Not that you go out of your way to make people's day worse. But when somebody does try...
Well, that guy was doing it.
I know, but the point is, when somebody gives you a chance to sort of spar...
Yeah.
Because they think that you're going to back down and they're going to have an advantage over you.
Right.
You say, sure, sounds fun. And you do it because that's your personality. You like it.
Right.
And they don't like that.
It bounces right off.
They don't like it. They were hoping you'd back down.
Yeah.
They were hoping you'd back down. So when you don't, they get very frustrated.
Yeah.
Is what happens.
I guess you could put it as a bully tactic.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Definitely.
100% a bully tactic. Yeah. So anyway, so apparently this Silva method that we were talking about is also tied to like astral projection.
Yeah, it's all fake.
And
it's
manifestation. They all manifest too.
I call it fake because it's fake in that it pretends to be a good thing, and it's not. It's a very bad thing.
The weird thing is the Silva method is actually tied to Catholicism. A lot of Catholics do the Silva method because I think Silva was Catholic. He was he was Hispanic and he was Catholic, and he still declares himself Catholic. He still goes to mass, still goes to church, even though he's teaching that we all sort of have this infinite power within us, which is totally against monotheism. But anyway, and I saw this Reddit post where somebody's like, hey, my dad, who I assume was a Christian, I think it was in a Christian subreddit, he tried the Silva method. I thought it would help him. And he freaked out, or it was his grandfather, sorry. And my grandfather freaked out when he tried the Silva method because he says he left his body and started floating around.
Yeah.
And it totally scared him, and he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah, probably.
Because that can happen. Yeah, well, Catholics are also, they're very much into sounds too, music and organs.
They are.
And bells, a lot of bell ringing.
They are, and I have to tell you, it is ritualistic, and I don't approve of it, but it is better. I mean, I've been to plenty of masses. Mm-hmm. They don't take you out of your body. Like, I'm sure you can if you wanted to, because it's up to the person to like get into it or not, you know. But it's not designed in the way like something like this Silva method is to actually remove you from your body, to actually, or put you in a complete state of unconsciousness. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think a lot of people are returning to Orthodox churches too, because they are in many senses, they're kind of boring. It's like, yeah, we're not trying to give you some sort of emotional experience, even though a lot of people do try and get that out of it. You know, they'll imagine Jesus on the cross and start crying themselves and like, oh, they put themselves through it. And that's always been wacky to me. But
well, that's why I say.
But I'm sorry, I was going to say there are these. It's called like charismatic. I forget exactly how they refer to it. Where in Catholicism, where they adopt these sort of more Protestant New Age type services, where they get really emotional and they're playing music and they're like, "I love you so much, Jesus," and they all start crying,
right,
and all this stuff. And a lot of traditional Christians looking in, they're like, that's not good. That's weird. And it is weird. It's totally weird.
I can easily compare that also to the non-contemplative meditation. Okay.
Sure.
Because that doesn't do that for you. And a lot of people are looking for that. They're looking for seduction. They're looking to feel good.
Yeah.
And when you get into that I've said suggestible state, but it's more of just a vulnerability that happens. When you get there, they give you the pleasure, you know, the breathing and the oral, the sound effects and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oral, A-U-R-A-U-R-A-L.
Okay.
Not oral with an O.
I was like, what are you talking about?
They might do that too. But depends on what church if you go to
oh no.
If you join a Wiccan church, that's what's going to happen. But if you but non-contemplative meditation is a letdown if that's what you're looking for.
It is.
Because instead of seducing you and making you feel wonderful, I don't do that.
Right.
So it's not for everybody because many people, let's say many people are not looking for the truth. They're looking to be seduced. They're looking to feel better.
And that's what makes something like fasting it can be such a spiritual experience.
Yes, it can.
So you realize that you were abusing food.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I mean, somebody looking to feel good from a meditation recording, I'm like, hey, go have a donut.
Yep.
And you can't have enough donuts without getting sick, but they still need relief, so they go find a meditation. Because you can keep doing that without getting sick or fat. You know what I mean?
So if you were to start a religion, you would have mantras, candles, and donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we already have AA meetings in church basements. Just combine those, then you got your snacks and your mantras.
Yeah, I guess, but that's supposedly for the new guy coming in who needs a little carb boost because he's missing some carbs that he's used to.
Nothing wrong with a few store brand cookies in the back of the room.
No, especially when they bring in Malamars.
But yeah, so people, and that's why I was bringing up fasting too. Because when you fast, you realize that you were abusing food.
Right.
And it hurts a little bit because you're like, oh man, I really want some food.
Yeah, but you're not hungry.
And now you can actually get hungry and want food, and you could starve yourself, and that's a weird thing to do too, is to just starve yourself. Some people do that. They get into that.
They do that for the suffering.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is you can actually get into the thing that is supposed to allow you to free yourself from things. You actually get obsessed with that. It's just a new obsession. But
that's not the type of suffering that Christ spoke about.
Right. But we've done we've done 3-day fasts, right? You convinced me to do a 3-day fast.
Yeah.
And done a couple of those.
You almost ate a lady down on the beach.
I did not almost eat a lady down on the beach. But I was going to remind you, apparently you already remember. It's like, I go on a beach walk. I've been 2 days without food, and I see a dead, recently deceased horseshoe crab.
I remember that.
Turned over.
Yeah.
I'm like, I bet there's some meat in that.
Yeah.
And I thought that to myself. I'm like, that's gross.
I know.
I would never think of that.
I know.
Before.
I remember that happened to me during I think it's the same fast you're talking about.
Yeah.
That walking on the beach and hadn't eaten in like 3 days. And I know now it was seaweed. It smelled like lasagna to me.
That's gross. Yeah. And then you realize that, I guess, so when people really go without food.
Yeah. They hallucinate, apparently.
Your own instincts start to kick in. Your own animal instincts.
You need this.
And you actually begin to kind of be open to eat things that you wouldn't otherwise, because you need it and your body needs it, and that's how you're going to survive. And it becomes not so bad.
You turn into a hunter.
Yeah, you turn into a hunter.
Right.
Or a scavenger.
However you want to look at it.
So that's a weird experience. But you need to fast from the world, including food, in order to realize that you have a dependency on these things that are keeping you numb because you're in pain, because you're judging. And then you go, oh, instead of doing that,
Right.
let me align with God's will.
Yeah.
Let me connect with him, and he provides for you instead. And then you stop judging, you stop needing the things that numb the pain from the judgment. And that's when you really wake up. And if you're doing a meditation that has these do sounds or even bells and whistles that calm you or whatever it is, you're just numbing yourself further.
It's all artificial.
You're numbing yourself.
You're numbing
further.
it. So if you have anxiety and you play a frequency or whatever it is that you
Right.
We'll use sound as an example.
People use noise like, oh, I have this brown noise app.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
I went for a massage one time and she had this like in the background.
Oh
I
my
asked her
God.
to turn it off.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
that on, especially not when somebody's like
No.
manipulating my body.
No,
that's bad.
It's
That's
like,
bad.
It's like hooking yourself up to a morphine drip.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's not good.
No, I don't like that
Yeah.
at all.
So speaking of the beach, you and I, we were in the car together a few days ago. We drove past the beach,
Okay.
and we were listening to the radio, and we heard about on an ad. We heard about Methylene Red.
Yeah.
Had you ever heard of it before?
No,
Okay. Is there such thing as Methylene Red? Have you
I
wondered?
don't know. I assumed there was when I
Yeah.
heard it.
Okay, so you know what methylene blue is.
Of course.
Okay, there is such a thing as methylene red.
It sounds like a gimmick.
Okay, well, I tried to find some information on it. There is literally nothing. I guess because it's so new, and because it's so new, I'm sure that people are going to start talking about it. But right now, as of now, there's nothing about methylene red.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what it is.
Well, and for context, methylene blue
Yeah.
is a substance that you've tried and you've taken.
I take it now.
Okay, you take it now.
Yeah.
And what is it supposed to do? Just
You know,
briefly.
It basically it repairs and enhances your mitochondrial functioning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not like a drug that like
No.
turns you on or something like that.
No, but I understand.
You don't become a superhuman when you
No,
take
but some of the ads for it, you hear testimonials from people saying, "Oh, I'm so full of energy." Alex Jones is like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was.
it. I can run through a wall after some methylene blue or whatever.
He could run through a wall on a glass of milk.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, there is. Okay. So apparently, it's an Alex Jones phenomenon. Okay.
Methylene red.
Methylene red.
Yeah.
Okay. He developed it. He formulated it himself. He went on ChatGPT and looked up something that would supplement that. Here, take a look. So I wanted to know what the heck is in it. Is there any such thing really?
Is it red?
It's red.
Okay.
Okay. But it's red. But it's red because they add beet powder to this.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're just adding something to make it red.
Look at is it 1, 2, 3? Look at 4.
Okay.
There you go. All right. These are supplemental facts of methylene red.
Okay.
Okay. It's basically a list of nutrients.
Yeah, it's like just natural.
It's just natural vitamins. There's no,
Yep.
but it's got the ingredients. If you look at the ingredients, the second ingredient is organic beetroot powder.
Yeah.
That's why it's red.
Yeah, it's just a gimmick.
It's a gimmick,
It's a
right?
gimmick.
It's got riboflavin, 5-phosphate. I already take that. Vitamin B6, which is, in my case, in this case too, pyridoxal 5-phosphate, which I take that already. Folate is calcium L5, methyl tetrahydrofolate. I already take that. Vitamin B12, I already take that. I'm not sure what this trimethylglycine is. Acetyl L-carnitine, I already take that. That's in one of my drinks that I drink, one of my protein drinks. The other things I don't know about, coenzyme Q10, I already take that. It's basically just a nutritional supplement that he wants you to take with.
I'm going to tell you what happened. He's been selling methylene blue.
Yeah.
And I bet it is a huge seller.
I would bet it is.
So he's decided to leverage that draw into a new product.
Right.
Call it Methylene Red, which is of course just going to dilute the trust in his brand because it's not actually anything like methylene blue. It's basically just some liquid that they've added natural food coloring to because it's beet powder.
Right.
Right.
So you wonder how they can use the word methylene.
Yeah.
But it's got the folate, which is as calcium L5 methyl tetrahydrofolate. So it's got the methyl element in there, so we can put it on the put on the product
So
name.
what's methylene blue?
Look up actually the components of methylene blue. It's a blue dye is what it is.
Oh, that's a blue dye too? I thought it was naturally blue. I thought that's what made it so weird.
No,
Methylene blue is a versatile synthetic dye with specific medical and diagnostic laboratory application. This is just going to give me a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah.
What is methylene blue? Chemical formula.
The thing is, there is no compound called methylene red.
Right. And
This is just all this is a cocktail of vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. So this is
Mostly vitamins.
methylene blue. It's a literal chemical compound.
Correct.
Right.
It was created in a laboratory.
And it's blue. It's a blue dye.
Right.
And on top of being a dye, it has an effect on your body when you ingest it.
Right.
It does something.
Right.
Versus methylene red is literally, it might as well be, relief factor. It's like it's just a bunch of ingredients.
It's just what they do is they've compounded all of
you.
these vitamins together in liquid drops.
Right.
Yeah.
They've compounded these vitamins together. It isn't itself some crazy chemical compound.
No, it's not.
Well, that's deceptive in my opinion.
Hey, what we could do? We can mix them both together and call it methylene purple, and then we can sell that on our website.
That would be better. That would be better. That would be more truthful, honestly.
Oh my God! I'll bet that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
That's going to happen now. And Alex Jones will actually do it.
Maybe
he does a lot of stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to bring up about that.
Okay.
I have just something else I wanted to mention. I have a bit of a surprise for you.
Okay.
Okay. You remember when, just to put it in context for anyone listening, about a month ago, I was rushed to the hospital with vertigo.
Yes.
Okay. It was an episode of vertigo. They did a CT scan. They did 2 CTs of my head. They did an MRI. They looked at my skull. They didn't find anything. And they didn't find anything. They found my brain, but they didn't find any sign of stroke or anything like that. So I had a very clean bill of health as far as my brain goes, which was good.
Which means it was likely just an infection.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said. I guess something else to say about that. That's what they said. And up until yesterday, I thought that was probably the case, but I got something else to tell you about that. So it was an infection. It cleared up and the vertigo went away and they sent me home from the hospital. They gave me oodles of pills and stuff to take, which I didn't take. Except I took, they gave me a nausea medication, which I was a little nauseous that night. So I took it that night before I went to bed, but that was it. Okay.
They gave you benzos, right?
They did actually. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's the point. That's part of what I wanted to mention too. Not only did they give me benzos, but Ativan. Yeah. But when I was in the hospital, they basically shot me up with Ativan. And when I was laying there in the bed, you saw on my monitor the word apnea.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And it became of great concern. Oh my God, Dad has apnea.
Yeah, I started watching it.
Right, started watching it. And the thing is, though, when you're in the hospital, it's not uncommon. When you're in a hospital and you're laying on your back constantly, you don't sleep on your sides, which I couldn't do because it's a narrow bed. They got rails on both sides. And I'm hooked up to all these IVs and everything, so I have to stay on my back. You can
at that point, by the way, if you don't remember, you couldn't move either. You still had vertigo, and you could barely open your eyes.
Oh yeah. So, anyway, so that reading came up on the monitor, that apnea, and you guys freaked out because
I did not freak out.
Okay, well, you were concerned.
Yes,
okay.
I decided
I was
that we need to
too.
look into this.
I was concerned too. About 15 years ago, I was much heavier. I was heavier than I am now. I'm not obese anymore. I think I was considered obese at that time. I was like up to 2. My worst day, bathroom scale day, was like 272. But I think I hovered like around 250, 260, which is too heavy. And I went away on a retreat and I was sleeping in a room with these guys and they said, you snore unbelievably. And I came home and I told you guys, you were just little kids at the time. And I said, do I snore? And you all, oh yeah, you're terrible. Why don't you tell me? And Nancy, my wife, your mother, said, yeah, you snore all the time terribly. And wow, I didn't know that. Maybe it's sleep apnea. But anyway, since then, I've changed my diet. I've put in a lot more. I exercise now. I work out. I go to the gym. And, I'm way down to my weight. I'm no longer obese. So I really don't have that problem with that loud, horrible snoring that wakes everybody up, that disturbs everybody. And so that was the thing. It's like, okay, dad redeveloped sleep apnea? If I had it, I probably had it back then, for sure. Clinically, would have been clinically diagnosed, I guess. And so I went out, and I got me an Apple Watch with the sleep apnea function in it that monitors your sleep patterns, right? And I tried to put it on. I couldn't stand putting it on. So a couple of nights ago, I started wearing it. Okay. So I've only got 3 nights of data. Okay. So let me just put you at ease. I don't have sleep apnea, or I'm going to keep it on for a whole month, but I don't, for the past 3 nights, I have not had sleep apnea.
Okay.
My sleep, I have core sleep, deep sleep. It measures REM sleep, awake time, oxygen levels. It also measures movement and things like that. And there's a scale that if you go up, if you have a sleep disturbance during the middle of the night, it tells you about it. And then if it reaches apnea level, you get an alert. So I did not get any alerts.
All right.
The first night I had a sleep disturbance, which it counted as a disturbance, like just barely. And then the second night, it was a little bit higher. And then last night, it was back down again. So what I understand is everyone has these moments when they wake up. Even getting up to pee to go to the bathroom counts as a sleep disturbance. So you'll be happy to know that for the past 3 nights anyway, no apnea alarms are going off and my watch thinks I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, if after a month I find out that I do have sleep apnea or heading in that direction, I will get a sleep, sleep study done. Where you go into a lab and you could do it at home too. I'd probably do it at home. You put on an oxygen meter and you wear a thing at night. And I think you do it for like 2 or 3 nights and then you send it in and they give you an analysis.
Right.
So we'll find out. But there's 2 kinds of sleep apnea. There's obstructive sleep apnea and there's what they call central sleep apnea. The central sleep apnea has to do with your with a nerve, your brain communicating with the rest of your body and your diaphragm and everything else. I went to the chiropractor yesterday, okay, and he said that for whatever reason, he said, wow, he says, your atlas is off to the right. Or I don't know if he told me what the right, he said it's a little bit off. He says, I put it back in. And I looked up today what that could mean. It so happens that C1, C2 is what comes out of there is the connector. It connects with your diaphragm.
C1 and C2 are your top 2 vertebrae.
Top 2 vertebrae, not your diaphragm. It connects with your middle ear and can also affect your breathing. So it's interesting that, what if it was just like, in chiropractic terms, a subluxation in my spine?
I don't know. I think subluxations I'm even skeptical on. But yeah, I think you probably had an infection. It's
Maybe
probably what it is.
Maybe.
In fact, almost certainly.
Yeah, probably. Because I did feel something respiratory like a week before. Then it cleared up, but then I had that episode.
Well, the thing about the sleep apnea in the hospital too was at that point you were already totally drugged up on Ativan as well as the vertigo, the antivert.
Right.
And those things basically suppress your what's it called? Your
autonomic.
Yeah, your nerve. These things basically suppress your nervous system,
right?
And that can put you in a state where you can actually be more liable to go into apnea.
Because when people get obstructive sleep apnea, what happens is they're laying down, and you could be heavy and fat, and you get actually your neck and your throat and everything gets more fat accumulation. So your tongue then obstructs your breathing.
Yeah, yeah.
But not everybody who has sleep apnea is overweight.
Right.
So, but it is a condition. It's very common with diabetics because diabetics tend to eat a lot of sugar, glucose, and glucose stimulates inflammation, and you can get inflammation, and it becomes systemic, and you can actually cause sleep apnea doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm not diabetic, but back then when I was heavier, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic at that time, which I'm not anymore.
Good.
Yeah. So I will get the sleep study. I will continue with this for a month, and I will report back to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So your dad's going to live. Don't worry.
Good.
Okay. The thing is, you got to stay healthy. One of the other thing about diabetics is that they tend to be deficient in B1, and B1 is super important for your nervous system and the communication between your brain and the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're deficient in that, you could have a breakdown of your nervous system that way too. And then you're not getting the signals correctly. You can actually not breathe properly because I think it's a frenetic nerve connects to your diaphragm, and you're not going to breathe right. So could be obstructive airflow. That would be obstructive sleep apnea, or the other one, central, which has to do with the nerves to the brain,
Right.
and then coming down into the rest of your body.
Okay.
So I'm going to get it all analyzed and see what happens.
Good.
So far, my watch, Tim Cook says I'm okay.
Well, I was just happy to find out that you didn't have a stroke
Yeah.
before, which is what the scans proved.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the stroke type.
No.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not the type.
I'm not the type to get
I don't know if you can choose to be the type. Are we done for now?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's it for today.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.